Hannah.
And Molly.
And we're the founders of
Must Love.
We make
Go ahead.
Jinx. We make delicious plant-based desserts like ice cream, sprinkles, and more coming soon. And what is this?
Our podcast.
Today
we're going to talk about something that we get asked about a lot, and it's Shark Tank. If you didn't know, we were on Shark Tank in January of this year. And we were thinking about this topic because the new season premiered a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And so we were reminded of it, and we've been doing some in-person events lately and get lots of... It's so funny when random people are like, that last week when we were at that event.
Oh, yeah. It's like,
I
saw you on Shark Tank.
Yeah, I saw you on Shark Tank. And we're like, oh my God, well... then you know all about our products because we say the same thing over and over again. And
which is like the intro of our podcast.
Yes. So anyway, we wanted to talk today about the actual audition process.
But especially the audition tape.
Yeah. So there are some things that we legally are not allowed to discuss. But I think we can get around some of that and just talk about our personal experiences. And then I think like this is really in line also with what's publicly known about the process, but also the process of getting onto Shark Tank can look very different based off of who you are, like your personal circumstance, like how you get introduced to the show. I think we've talked on earlier episodes. If you want to check out earlier Shark Tank content, we talked about kind of our journey to getting onto Shark Tank and what it was for us. But I think the audition tape is something that almost every company needs to do, right?
Yeah, I think even if you're scouted or whatever, you still need to do the tape.
Yes.
Because that's like it's their check on your personality, kind of.
Yeah, even if you do like an in-person, they used to have audition like expos.
a open casting call.
Yeah, I think if you move past that round, your next step is to actually submit a audition tape. So that seems like something that's very common for people needing to do, right?
Yeah, I think everyone has to do it.
Okay.
And so we auditioned, if you didn't know, we auditioned twice for Shark Tank, and we got pretty far in the process both times. Obviously, the most recent time we were successful and our episode aired. However, the first time we got as far as the audition tape, and then I think we got the boot, right?
Yeah.
And so we wanted to go through kind of what the differences were and why we made some changes in the tapes themselves. Do we talk about why the tape is important?
No.
Oh, well, so why is it, and this is more conjecture, it's my conjecture on why the tape is important in the process, but it's, you know, they're producing a television show, so you gotta be entertaining, and they want to see what you're like on camera when you are natural and doing your own thing without any other direction.
And I also think as you move on through the process, when they're kind of evaluating you against other people in a competition, certain casting people or producers may have interaction with you, but for the whole team eventually to be able to know and be introduced to all the different companies, this is probably also conjecture, but integral piece of like having a little piece, a snippet that's not just on paper of all the different companies.
Oh yeah, like a little sizzle reel about who are you, so that your producers can like make the best case they can for you.
And until like you get to a certain point, that's really your interaction with producers and the people that are making the decisions.
And I'm a people-pleasing Libra, so I think everyone is my friend, so I really believed I actually still think they are our friends in spirit. But
when's the last time you talked to them?
I know so, you know, oh no, when our episode aired, but
yeah, that was a long time ago. They're not our friends.
It was like in January, but no, but they're really great people. They're really nice. They really believe they're like on your team and really want you to succeed, but that's also my people-pleasing problems. Anyway, so
in terms of the audition tapes, the first audition tape that we did was in 2018. So we were still really early on in the company. like we had just gotten into Sprouts maybe,
Yeah.
and we were in the midst of that, and we were really stressed out, and there was just like a lot going on.
Like hand making the ice cream ourselves.
Yeah,
These hands.
and so at that point, a casting agent had approached us and asked us to submit a audition tape. So we had submitted some paperwork, etc., and the application, and then we were preparing for the audition tape, and we actually recently rewatched it, and it's like so cringeworthy. So I'm sure people will insert very cringy clips of it in this podcast.
People, you mean Addie?
Yeah.
Our people, our social media team of one, Addie, who's right there.
Well, I mean, we have the clips too.
Yeah, we have the clips.
So anyway, the way that we approached this was like, well, first of all, they have a distinct set of questions that they want you to address within the pitch. And instead of like doing a fun pitch, we literally
did a Q&A.
Just went through the questions and answered question 1, 2, 3. I don't know why did we not get feedback like it shouldn't be like that?
No, well, I mean, the feedback, the instruction we got was that it needed to like really show our personality and it be like kind of, you know, eye-catching. Like it had to be memorable is what feedback we got. But Molly, not to like completely throw you under the bus, but back then you were very, very reticent to do
I
these
still
things.
am.
I know, but she's doing it. Look, we're doing a live podcast and posting this on YouTube. But so we approached it like with more the serious side of our personalities, which is really, you know, it was true to who we are.
Yeah.
It was just like the most serious we are. But we wore our fun banana t-shirts and because we made banana and we still make banana based ice cream.
And then like I did a little bit on this, right?
Oh yeah, but it was for like a TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I was like, who was
the
I
recent
talking to
words
about?
are in your mind.
So we got my brother-in-law to actually film it, and he's like a professional DP, which is director of photography, so he has really nice equipment. And so it was like very professionally done in a beautiful setting. My sister is also a makeup artist, so she did our makeup when we looked really, really fantastic.
Good. And the ocean was in the background.
So I think overall, like the vibes were very calm and also
like professional, very polished.
Yes, and that in retrospect we realized probably wasn't. It also was like very counter to how we felt inside our bodies at that point, which was just absolute chaos. And so I feel like we should have approached, it wasn't authentic to who we were, especially at that point. And it's also not the vibe of the brand, really. So, while I still think that, you know, it's a good pitch because it's us and we're really sharing the business, like it wasn't right for what Shark Tank is looking for. So that was audition 1. And so we got the boot then.
Yes.
So we didn't get the call
I
back.
think we seemed a little bit too boring.
Yeah.
And we're not boring.
And so then the second time around, which was last year in 2021, right?
Yeah.
The films and everything.
Like last summer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When we got to the point where they were like, okay, send in your audition tape, we were like, well, now knowing everything that we know about what we did last time, how do we want to approach it? And first of all, it was like, let's actually do a pitch, like kind of skit.
Yeah.
Still answering obviously all the questions,
but like in a story
and in a
not
way.
Like, yeah.
Well, and it's more in line with like what you see on the show.
Yeah.
Because I think at that point we realized, oh well, maybe they actually want to see what we would be like on the stage, which makes sense. So we made this really dumb video of us, and we also like filmed it on an iPhone. We did it at Hannah's condo, so like there were also just people walking around, which was really embarrassing.
That was embarrassing
because we were in costumes, and
not that you need to be in a costume.
No. But that was like we just wanted to do a fun bit.
Yeah.
And so that was like the intro to our pitch, and it was really funny in retrospect. And then we launched
like,
into
I want to say it was almost cheesy. Like it was very cheesy, cute, funny.
Yeah, but it was also like true to us.
Yeah.
So
we're not like professional comedians.
Right.
So it wasn't like
like a whole bit,
like a stand-up
No.
routine. It was
It
just
was
like a
ve-
very
it was
short
very
little
brief.
skit.
Uh-huh. And then we also went into all the questions that they ask you to answer, but we weaved it into like a pitch rather than
a Q&A.
Q&A of, well, this is the question, here's the answer, here's the question. It was more conversational in terms of like a actual pitch.
What is our
you're giving.
business? What do we make? Like, where are we in our business? And what would our ask be? Like, those kinds of things. We put it together in like a paragraph instead of
In a
what we
pitch.
did. A pitch. In case people don't know what that means.
Okay. Well, we have a podcast like last week about what pitches are.
That's true.
So
check that one out.
So that's how we approached the second audition tape. I think it went over
and we
really well.
We even put a little tag at the end to call back to our costumed skit in the beginning. I'm sure Addie will splice in some screenshots for me because we look
silly.
I was gonna say cute, but
okay.
but silly,
yeah. And so I think obviously that one went a lot better because we got on the show. And so I think lessons learned is, I think you don't need to do a skit or be in costume, but really be true to yourself. It doesn't matter like the quality of the filming, whatever. I think everyone probably does it on your iPhone at this point anyway, because also iPhones are like
this
very
is being
high quality.
filmed on my iPhone, and
the quality is very
pretty good.
Well, people are like filming movies on iPhones now, so I think quality is very good. Good job, Apple. And you don't need to be overly manicured unless that's who you are, because then really stick to that.
Like if you have a makeup product,
then you should look really nice. But like we make
ice cream.
So
we another note on how we knew this was the right direction. We saw some clips of our friends posting their, like, we're not allowed to show you the whole thing, but like clips of their audition tapes and things we saw that were more aligned to the second direction we took, which was more silly and authentic and a little bit more like real, I would say. Is that they there was one where someone was riding inside a shopping cart, like in the basket, and someone was pushing her, and she was like being like very almost like infomercially, like really like outrageous about like all these terrible products on shelves today. And then another person I saw, a company we're friendly with, like they were wearing kind of outrageous not costumes but outfits, like jumpsuits and stuff, and like flipping tables with substandard versions of their product that other people were selling, like flying all over the place. So like pretty outrageous to just stay memorable.
Yeah, and well, all of those examples actually do sound kind of like a shtick. So yeah. I don't feel like you need to necessarily do a shtick, but I think it has to be something memorable. Like and honestly, the best way to approach it is also just look at Shark Tank, and like they kind of take your original pitch that you do and figure out an exaggerated version of that to actually be your pitch on the show. Yeah. And so it's a good starting point of like really thinking through how you want to portray yourselves and your company on the show.
But we didn't wear costumes on the show.
Yeah, I think we were pretty adamant about not wanting to. So, but a lot of people do.
Yeah, which is fine.
No shade to them.
No, I mean it for real, which is fine. But you would have murdered me if...
No, it was a non-starter.
Yeah, you would have just been like, we're no longer participating.
No, I mean, I know the costume thing, like...
I would have worn a costume.
Yeah. It was probably would have been a banana because you actually own a banana costume.
If you're good, maybe I'll wear it for a podcast one day.
So that's our kind of journey of audition tapes. Do you have any other memories or like tips about the audition tape? I think the one other thing is both audition tapes, but in terms of the actual questions they want you to answer, make sure you answer them fully. Don't try to get anything by them, because ultimately as you go on the process, you're going to have to validate everything that you tell them in prior rounds or any interaction. But also at the end of the day, a pitch is you selling yourselves. So make it enthusiastic and sell your company and what you're doing. I mean, you should believe in what you're doing. So make sure that really shows through in your audition tape, because ultimately they want to see the passion from the entrepreneur themselves. And so don't downplay whatever you're doing. Like, I mean, it's hard for me and Hannah to do this, but like to really just brag about what you've accomplished. Make sure that you actually get that across in your audition.
Yeah, that's really good advice.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
in general, for any pitch.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to say was, for us, we're co-founders, and
Mhm.
we've gotten advice before that only one of us should do it. Like, only one of us should pitch, only one of us should be on stage when we do these things. But for us, like, a big part of our company is us getting to work together,
Mhm.
and the dynamic that we have, hopefully you enjoy it, is important to our company.
Yeah.
And so we insisted that we always do
Pitch
it together.
But it depends on you and your company and
your co-founder, if you have one.
Yeah, so that's a big decision that you have to make up front, of whether one person or even a team. Like, I've seen on Shark Tank, like a team of 3 or 4 or whatever will pitch together. And so it's whatever will make the pitch the best and also make great TV, right?
Yeah,
Because ultimately that's what they want, is a great TV show.
it's true.
Anything else?
I don't know. I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, if you have any Shark Tank questions, DM us at MustLoveCo, and we'll be sure to answer them in a future episode.